Have you ever been completely lost? I've got no idea where I am lost. On the verge of tears lost. I can't find my mum and dad lost. Have I just a little bit too much to drink and I can't find my way to the party lost? How about emotionally lost? You got a job, but on a Sunday night you wish you were doing anything else the next day. Questioning your own value, your very purpose in life. I guess we can all agree it can be a pretty bleak feeling. I don't wish to sound smug, but I'm in a happy place right now, personally, professionally, and creatively. But I needed to be completely lost before I could find my direction and find myself. I'm hoping in the next 10 to 15 minutes I can give a bit of hope for those of you feeling a little lost, a spark to those of you just a bit stuck, or maybe some inspiration for those of you hiding your creativity under a bushel. Now, if you're involved in solving problems, which I suppose we all are in some way, you're always trying to find the right solution. You're not sure where it is, but you know when you found it, because you get that moment where the hairs on the back of your neck stand up and everything else goes a little bit fuzzy. As a creative practitioner, it's that moment that you step back from a piece of work that you've created and you allow yourself a little smile and a nailed it moment. But all so often, those moments are elusive. You know what you want and you think you know how to get there, but no matter how hard you try and how focused on the journey you are, you just can't reach that end goal. It's so easy to become blinkered on that one pathway, you don't find time to stop and look in the other directions. When I was 7, I drew a picture of a fish, and my teacher stuck a gold star on it. That was the first hairs on the back of the neck moment for me. It was enough to set me up on the journey of becoming the artist that I am. Now, of course, I followed my parents' advice, got some vocational qualifications, and became a primary school teacher. But after a few years of doing that, I realized, you know what? I need to have a go at following my dream of becoming a professional artist. That holy grail of making a living out of doing what you love to do. I was a technical painter. I could emulate pretty much anything I saw on the gallery walls that I visited. So, I hid myself away and I started painting. Painting everything I thought the galleries would like. After about a year, I crawled out from my studio, gathered up the body of work that I'd produced, and started touting it. I visited pretty much every gallery within a 200-mile radius of where I lived. I got a unanimous reply from all of them. Nah, we don't know who you are. You don't know where you're coming from. We don't know where you're going to. You're too much like the people that we already deal with. I was heartbroken. But I stepped back into teaching. And I got married, and a mortgage, and a pension plan, and a sensible-sized family car, and a sensible-sized family. That dream was lost. Now what happens when you're lost? You put your head down, physically and metaphorically, and you stare at the floor. Now if at that point you can begin to look for the interesting and the beautiful, there's a joy in seeing the world in a whole new way. The smallest, most insignificant things can change the way you think. For me, it was a stenciled rat on a trip to London in 2002. This stenciled rat made me completely reassess what art is and what being an artist is. I'd initially thought it was about producing a painting to hang in a gallery. But this Banksy stencil reminded me that art is about challenging your ideas. It should get you thinking and talking and questioning your everyday existence. If you can, stop and open your eyes to the possibility that hidden in the most unexpected places could be a spark that sets you off on a whole new journey. Back to the rat. Wanton vandalism, or the dawning realization that art is for everyone, and it's a joy to discover in the most unexpected places. For me, it was a catalyst, a new direction and a chance for me to reconnect with my work. But at this point, I wasn't an angry young man. I didn't want to terrorize my neighborhood with territorial pissing. I wanted others to feel the excitement, the discovery of discovering something as powerful as a piece of art on the streets. But I was a teacher. I was a parent. I just had my garden wall re-rendered. I didn't want someone to paint the side of that. So what right did I have to go and do that to the people in my neighborhood? But I really wanted to make people as inspired as I was the day that I discovered that. So, my answer to that was to paint at home and then take my painting out and leave it on the streets to be discovered. I could be a street artist. Every Friday, I do my bit for the environment by catching the train to work. And on the way to the station, I'd take a painting that I'd been working on that week and I'd leave it somewhere for someone to discover. I'd find a good spot, lay it down, take a photograph, and just leave it there. I always caught the train on a Friday, and it was basically free art for anybody that found it. And I was doing alliteration with the kids that I was teaching, so I named it Free Art Friday. Free Art Friday was a way for me to explore the themes of loss. It was a gut-wrenching feeling to lose something you've been working really hard on all week. But mixed into that was an excitement of this unknown journey that the artwork was taking. For me, that moment that work is left alone to fend for itself, lost on an unknown pathway, was really special. This weekly moment of melancholy began to intrigue and ultimately direct the work. But to paint a painting on canvas every week and leave it on the street for free is getting a bit costly. And I'm a good law-abiding citizen. I was worried that I might get arrested for littering. Now, the solution to this problem came perversely thanks to a throwaway society. Timber, cardboard, bottle tops are all ready available. Just walk down the road, you'll see them lying around. And they're free. I could find a piece of rubbish, bring it back home, paint on it, and put it back where I found it. They couldn't arrest me for littering, can they? No. And more often than not, within a couple of hours, it had gone. So I was helping my local authority tidy up the place I lived in. I could take the lost, the rejected, and the unwanted, and make it into something worth finding. Now, the audience interaction with this project is fairly limited. Most people are walking along looking at their phones, or worried if anybody will notice whether they've ironed their shirt this morning. But if you tie a tiny personal project with the growing phenomenon that was the internet, suddenly hundreds or even thousands of people had the opportunity to share in what I was doing. Every week I'd drop a painting, weave wonderful stories in my head about who saw it, who picked it up, where it went, where was it hanging right now. I'd put that photo on the internet and share it with the world. It was that perfect marriage between a quiet personal stroll that everybody could see. The best bit about this, there was nobody curating it. No one saying, no, we don't like that, you can't put that there. It was just me and the amount of effort I was willing to put in. And I realized I was able to reach a far greater audience than those white box galleries that got me so blinkered and lost in my early journey. I began to post my Free Art Friday posts regularly, and before long, other artists made contact, and they started to do the same thing. A Free Art Friday community began to grow online, with artists taking this idea and adjusting it and changing it to suit themselves and their environment. As artists, we'd swap. So a fellow artist would send me a piece of work and I'd put it in my town, and I'd send them a piece of work. All of a sudden, with a bit of creative license, I was being exhibited in Tokyo, Berlin, Hawaii, Tel Aviv, and New York. Now, okay, exhibited might be pushing it, But my work was out there and it was getting seen. At the last count, there are over 1,000 Free Art Friday communities across 7 continents, all actively creating artwork and putting it out on the streets for you lot to find. It seems that when you're brave enough to embrace being lost, there's others out there who are willing to follow you and share the journey with you. Now, one morning, while I was looking for a good spot to leave a piece of artwork that I'd done, I kicked a baked bean tin across the pavement, probably fallen out of someone's recycling bin, and it had been driven over by a car and flattened. I was always looking for new canvases. I kind of saw the makings of a figure in this flattened can, hunched up shoulders and a simple round face. I took it home, added a simple face with eyes averted, just like those homeless guys that you walk past on the street, unable to make eye contact with you. And it looks so lost. Putting it out the following Friday was really hard. I'd made an emotional connection with it. Yeah, I'm the guy that makes emotional connections with baked bean tins. But becoming aware that the pieces that you don't want to get rid of are the most cathartic, I took it out, put it on the ground, I took that photo, and I walked away. I pondered my small part in the can's life journey. It'd been formed somewhere in a factory and filled with food. It had nourished someone, and then they'd thrown it away, useless. And then I'd given it a new lease of life and released it to start another journey. And I realised that can mirrored my own creative journey so closely. To have been lost and then found and given a new lease of life, a new purpose, and let to go travelling on its own journey. And at the same time, it encourages others to open their eyes to the possibility that being lost can lead to an exciting new journey. This can led to many more. I've been running my Free Art Friday project for 13 years now, leaving at least one piece of art on the streets every Friday, wherever I happen to be. I haven't counted exactly, but I think it's close to 1,000 now. And the Free Art Friday project, in turn, has opened new opportunities for me. I've had the chance to paint, leave Free Art Fridays, run workshops, and exhibit in white box galleries all across the world. That moment of loss and that Banksy rat and this project has led me to doing what I always wanted to do. I'm living that dream. So the next time you're feeling lost, when you hit that dead end, embrace it. Look around you with open eyes. Look for the answers in the least expected places. You might find a path worth exploring, or might find just an old baked bean tin with a face on the front. Thank you.